Alexandra, welcome. And first of all, I want to start by saying it's such a pleasure talking to you on the Zoom and interviewing you. It's really wonderful meeting you.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here. I'm really, really excited to talk about
Oh,
Tres Minutos.
thank you so much. I'm very excited to talk about that too. First of all, how are you doing right now? How are you doing today?
Oh my gosh. I'm doing well. Today it's right before a long holiday weekend, so I'm really excited to rest and the day's been off to a really good start. How about you?
I'm doing very well as well. Thank you so much.
Good.
It has been, I feel like it's kind of already in this holiday weekend kind of mode.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah,
a nice feeling.
for sure. It's really nice to sometimes take this days off and relax a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah, we always need just a little break here and there because, like you said earlier, things just get a little crazy and we just need some time to breathe.
For sure. Yeah. Well, okay. I'm happy to hear that you're doing very well. I'm happy to spending this day with you, and let's dive into our conversation about Tres Minutos, shall we?
Yes, we shall. Let's do it.
Wonderful. Okay, I would love to open up with the question regarding, um, your choice of working on the film in Spanish. What
Yeah.
do you to, what drew you to perform this role in Spanish?
It's so funny because it didn't come about in a typical way. My co-star Austin, he's Mexican. He taught himself Spanish and French during the pandemic, and crazy. And I just was talking about with him because we originally shot Tres Minutos as a longer film in English. And he came up with the idea to shoot just a part of it in Spanish. And I brought the idea to Doug, the director, and he thought it was a really great idea. And I think we all kind of agreed that it gives specifically that conversation that we ended up pulling for the shorter version in Spanish. Is a really poignant conversation. And since it's so short and since there's so much left up to interpretation, making it in Spanish kind of touches upon some hot topics that are going on in the US right now. If you just kind of use your imagination and interpret a little more freely. So we all really loved that idea and just said, let's go for it. And that's kind of how it came about. So it was a really special, unique idea and really grateful to Austin for coming up with it.
Yeah, for sure. Now that you expanded on that right now, it makes so much sense to me how you kind of linked it, the language and everything that's happening in the world right now. This is
Yeah.
so fabulous. That's so clever.
I, it's so wonderful. I mean, it was such a happy accident. And again, credit to Austin and also credit to Doug for being open to the idea. But yeah, I don't think I was quite cognizant of it at the time as we were making these decisions. But as we were filming it, I thought, oh yeah, this is act inadvertently touching upon some really interesting, important topics right now. And, it's a really human, well, it's just a really poignant story. So about humanity and connection. So I'm
Like,
glad that we got to do that. Yeah.
yeah, thank you. Do you find it easier to act in Spanish rather than in English? Or is it kind of, are there any differences?
Definitely there are differences. Spanish is my second language, and there's definitely, I still feel like I'm getting my sea legs when I jump back into it. But I really, really enjoyed the process, especially in this setting, because I got to, usually when I'm acting in Spanish, it's in commercials or really short stints, and getting to tell, it's still a short story, but a fuller story in Spanish, and especially a story like this was really, really cool. And I don't know about you, but when I'm speaking in another language, different parts of my personality tend to pop up more, and I almost feel like I have a different personality in other languages. So that was a really cool thing to experience as well.
Yeah. Wow. I would never tell that Spanish is your second language. It feels so natural to
Thank goodness.
from like from the audience perspective. It's just you're so brilliant in it.
That's so kind of you. Thank you so much.
Very,
That's really sweet. Thank you.
very true. That's just how I felt when I was watching your film.
Thank you. I really, really appreciate it.
Of course. Well, I would want to talk about the team. You started mentioning the team already, and
Yeah.
something that I had this opportunity to talk to some of the members of your team at the festival.
Yeah.
You all just feel like family to me. It's a
Oh, that's so
beautiful
sweet.
thing. Yeah, thank you. To witness and notice. So I found out that, correct me if I'm wrong, you work with most of the people on the team already previously on other projects.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So what keeps bringing you back to collaborate together?
That's a wonderful question. I would say most of it is attributed to Doug, because he is the one, he's really, he becomes a Renaissance man on set because he wrote the stories that we've created together. Um, and two out of the three projects that we've shot together, he really was kind of a one-man show in terms of the crew. So he handled sound, lighting, the set design I helped him with, but he provided his home for us to shoot in. So really he is the one putting all of it together. And um I mean he approached me with really unique, awesome stories, and I trust his vision so much. And I feel like I've really gotten an opportunity to exercise creative muscles kind of as a producer and actor that I haven't
Yeah.
beforehand. And that was a really, really cool experience. So it's a combination, I think, of the stories that he writes and just the experience that I know I'll get to participate in. It's a really cool experience.
Wow, that's so beautiful to just
Oh,
witness you even talking right now about it. It's
that's so sweet.
truly so special.
They were really special experiences. I couldn't have I feel really lucky to have been part of these unique stories and be able to make them with people that I know too and trust really a lot.
Yeah. What do you value most about working with filmmakers you already know and trust?
Oh my gosh. I would say when it comes to working with people you know and trust, I immediately feel a little bit more at ease just knowing that, ideally, because I know and trust these people, I know that I can communicate with them more openly. I've been lucky enough to work with a couple of different teams that I know and like and trust.
Yeah.
And that experience, particularly with Doug and the crew there, I know that Doug is going to be very collaborative. He tends to trust me and the vision that I have for the characters that I'm building. And I know that he will invite me into the creative process, which I didn't know that I wanted to be part of, but just getting to take on more roles as in like producer and actor and having more creative control or ownership over what we're making all together, that's a really, really cool feeling. And it definitely gave me a really empowering experience as a creator.
Wow. I think it's something that's a lot of maybe filmmakers and actors, writers would probably
Yeah.
inspire towards having this kind of opportunity to create a team that really you come together and bring the best out of each other. And
Yes. 100%. Yeah. I think the other thing that I really like about Doug and the people that we've collectively gotten to work with is that Everyone is kind of willing to hop in and support each other. And that has been my experience on sets in general, just working in this industry in this city. And every time I get to do that, it's humbling and it's inspiring to watch the people around you just, if support is needed, they hop in and they just want everything to work as smoothly as possible and make sure that we tell this story. It's really great.
It's so awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Of course, yeah. Great questions.
I think I will thank you for thank you for your feedback.
Yeah, of course.
I think I would want to also just kind of if we were to sum up this collaborative experience, what would you say is the biggest element that keeps the togetherness and team spirit alive?
That's a wonderful question. I would say I definitely think that on teams in general, culture tends to trickle down from the top in the leadership positions. Um, and I said a bit about how Doug is very collaborative. He invites people's input and, just to kind of join him in that process. Um, I think something that is really helpful when you're creating a healthy, vibrant culture is this sense of, again, humility. So seeing, for example, Doug as, the leadership position, just getting into everything and he's helping set up the lights, he's setting up the sound. And when we've worked with bigger crews, he is in there helping everyone with the setup and everything. And I think just setting the example of we're all in this together. It's a very powerful message, and you don't necessarily have to say it, but when you see the leadership actually doing it and hopping in to be supportive, I think that really sets a beautiful tone for the set.
Wow, thank you for saying that and for sharing that.
Yeah.
So, as far as I understand, it's kind of like you have this hierarchy that's obviously happening. Everyone is in the position, and yet at the same time, you all know that you're a family kind of dynamic.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think it's that's one of my favorite parts about filmmaking, theater, music, is that when you get lucky enough, and I think this has been my experience for most of my career so far, is that people just you're gathering together because you want to create something together and you're open to collaborations. So you guys all know that you're getting the opportunity to tell this story and share it with an audience at some point down the line. And just I think that intention it's great when you have that intention on set or, on stage, whatever it is. It's
Yeah,
really
yeah,
special.
for sure. Wow,
Yeah, of
thank you.
course.
Um, I'd love to talk now a little bit about your individuality and artistry.
Sure.
Um, You are just, like I said before, very natural in the role, and you are very immersive to watch as an actress. It's like you dive into the character, and as an member, when I'm watching you, it's just like you are this character. There is no actor there, just you as a character. And
That means so much to me. Thank you for saying that. That's
you're
really
very welcome.
sweet.
Yeah. So I would love to. Um, ask you and if you don't mind sharing, what's your personal biggest tip for successfully getting into character?
Sure. Um, I would say in terms of if there was one thing that I tend to go towards that just always helps serve me without fail, it's spending time in my day-to-day life as the character. That's an idea and something that my acting teacher has always really encouraged is, you know, think about how you, as this person, in this case, Charlie, would get ready for work or make breakfast or go grocery shopping or when you're on a walk, how do you see the world? Like when you're observing people on the street, what do you, as the character, think about or go to? Where does your head go? And I think that just like those immersive experiences where it's not in the script, but you're filling in the overall life of the character, that helps so much because it really just helps you slowly get into the mindset and in a really deep way. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. So you kind of live your life as this character for the time of the shoot for this few days.
Well, I definitely chose specific things to experience as the character, because I'm not really a method actor, but just getting to examine, okay, how would I get ready for the day as Charlie? Or how would I, just kind of moments out of my day and experience those. It would be really, sometimes when I'm working on accents, I will spend the whole day doing that because I have to. Otherwise, it's not going to be good. But yeah, just kind of selecting moments and key things that I think would help me explore my character more.
Yeah, it sounds like you have very healthy boundaries with acting and with characters that you're working on. That's very beautiful to witness.
Oh, thank you. I try my best.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
all we can do.
yeah, exactly. It can be tricky to set boundaries, especially when when it's a very intense role or intense story. But yeah, with this one too, it definitely felt a little closer to home, and the material was somewhat lighter than other stories, so it was a good experience.
Hear you. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's
Of course.
beautiful and so important to hear about. So thank
Yeah,
you.
of course.
I have kind of like a question that I feel maybe lots of members of like the audience member would really love to find out about
Uh,
regarding this story of Tres Minutos in particular and
yeah.
character. So when you were crafting Charlie, correct?
Yes, uh-huh.
Okay. Did you imagine her as pregnant or not pregnant, or did you kind of let it open in your interpretation, maybe finding out the result in the moment when the scene happens?
Yeah, that's a really good question. For the shot where we find out, where we actually read, where I read the test results, um, we actually played around with different options on the day and in the moment. So Doug would kind of just take me to the side and whisper, okay, on this take, you're going to be pregnant, or in this take, it's going to be negative. And he also didn't want Austin to know, just because, he kind of wanted to see how Austin would read my face and my reaction. Um, so yeah, for that shot, we just kind of played around with it. And then in my prep, because myself as Charlie, I don't know if I'm pregnant or not until I read the result. I just kind of focused on, navigating the uncertainty of that. But yeah, specifically when we read the test, we just kind of played around with it.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Interesting.
It was fun. Yeah, it was a very fun exercise on set.
That's very clever direction, I feel like, to go.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was a great experience, and I don't even, I can't really remember how it came about, but yeah, just Doug was up to improv it and just kind of see how things fell, and it was really fun and exhilarating because it's a pretty high stakes test result either way, if you're positive, depending on how the characters are expecting the test result to go, it's a big life moment. So,
For sure, most definitely.
yeah.
You know which take is ended up being in the film in terms of was this the reaction that you recorded when you decided that she's pregnant or
That's such a great question. So, I think that specific take, I forgot to mention that Doug also, there was one take, and that is the take that we ended up using in the final cut. where he said, this is going to sound so sneaky, but he said, react and like give Austin a look that's kind of ambiguous. So it just like leaves it up to interpretation. So that was the shot that was just like, it could go either way. You don't know. So yeah, that's not really answering your question definitively, but we ended up going with the one that's kind of, it could go either way.
I think it makes sense because it definitely, for me as an audience member, after I watched your film, it's kind of, yeah, it definitely make me think what's next and how would
Yeah.
the events turn out to be and what this character would do if she is pregnant. Is she gonna have
Yeah.
a baby? If she's not pregnant, what does this mean for the couple? Maybe they wanted it. So
Yeah,
it's
absolutely. Yeah, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I totally agree with you. I think that it's as an audience member, I think the intention or one of the intentions was, you get to see this really small splice of a conversation between these two people, and um, you're you kind of get a sense of, okay, would these people potentially work together as parents? Like if they choose to do that, and if the test result, depending on what they choose after this test result, either way. And yeah, it's very open to interpretation of you can kind of go down either road and just follow and see, okay, based on this tiny bit of life that we got to see, how could things go depending on the test results. So, yeah.
for sure. We have already kind of, Alexander, started talking about the story itself. So I
Yeah.
think my next question, the one that I would want you to answer, is regarding the message of the film and whether in your character or in the film itself, or maybe in your co-actor's character or performance,
Mhm.
was there a personal story or a message that you personally would like to convey to younger women who might find themselves in a similar situation?
Oh my gosh, yes, definitely. I would say for younger women specifically, my hope is that we get to we get to at least feel the sense of connection with the person that we might be starting a new life with. And life in general, I mean, especially these days, I hear so much about how our culture is becoming more anxious and we are kind of losing connection. And with dating apps and things like that, we're talking a lot about how people are meeting in person less and less. And we're getting kind of hesitant to reach out and be vulnerable
Mm.
to people because, a lot of the connection is happening over our phones. Um, and I think women in general, I'm totally stereotyping right now, but I think women in general tend to be a bit more nurturing and open to being vulnerable. And I want that for all young women. And I think especially with this story, you know, the idea, one of the things that I loved about this film is that life doesn't go as planned. We have all these sorts of surprises that pop up. And in moments like this, we get to see two people who actually choose to connect rather than contract or pull away from each other. And they're navigating something that's going to be a surprise no matter what. And I just hope that people can take the feeling of, oh, I deserve to have a genuine connection with someone if that's what you choose and or that if that's what you want and this idea that it's okay to be vulnerable and it's okay to reach out and uh, share and be open with people.
Wow. I think that's such an important message in our day and age specifically as well. You're
Yeah.
delivering regarding connection. So thank you so much for sharing that once again and telling your personal take on that. I definitely resonate with this message. It's beautiful to be vulnerable with people, and I feel like
Yeah.
it's even more important to be vulnerable than ever before.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. I think it's something that we're craving because we've already had so long of being on our phones or being attached to our phones. And the idea of courting can look like, hey, you up? And or like, wanna hang? Or like, how are you doing? I'm just chilling. Like it's not it's not particularly intentional or, showing that you're excited about this person. It's almost like we're afraid to show how excited we are sometimes. And just to actually get feel safe enough to open up and, invite that connection. I think that's really brave, and especially in this day and age. So,
Sure. And feel safe enough and be brave enough to speak your truth and stand by it.
exactly.
The truth of the moment. It doesn't have to mean that it's going to stay the truth your
Yeah.
life, but owning your truth in the moment. That's something that I most definitely felt you delivered in the film.
Oh, thank you. I'm really glad that that came across. And my co-star Austin made it so easy to feel that comfortable because we're friends outside of set. So that just made the whole experience that much more meaningful. So it was really nice.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, watching your film and really kind of going through the conversation that you have in this 3 minutes, it's a very deep kind of conversation, and you kind of dive into it right away. And
Yes, exactly.
I felt like it's also something that I caught through this film is that you don't necessarily always have to build towards depth in the you can kind of dive right into the deep feeling and vulnerability,
Mm,
um, as long as you are comfortable with it and you have, you know, both in your relationship communicated that it is okay to be with each other, and I'm gonna just take you as you are, and I love you anyway, no matter what you say, kind of thing.
yeah, exactly. It's almost like, I mean, depending on the level of relationship you have with people, like with family, for example, we don't tend to have to warm up with them because they're family and we're just going to dive right into it. In a lot of cases. And I think in moments like this too, even if these two people, maybe they're a couple months into the relationship, maybe they're a couple years into it, but the stakes of this moment kind of almost invite you to either lay it out on the table or retract and pull away. And yeah, in this case, Charlie didn't, she just made the decision to hop right in and like take it or leave it because this is kind of a high stakes situation. So she chose to connect and dive in, which was really cool.
So powerful.
Yeah.
I want to ask about the format of your film as well. Something that I found just fascinating is the precision of the film. It's 5 minutes, and the writing is just mesmerizing and it's so precise. Everything is so clever,
Oh,
witty as well to some extent, and
that's
so
so sweet.
deep at the same time. Do you find yourself enjoying working on short films more? Um, in terms of when you get just few minutes and few lines to kind of dive right into it and let the rest unfold for the audience and their interpretation? Or do
Yeah.
you find yourself enjoying working on this feature film or longer um, films where the audience kind of have this opportunity to see a longer character evolution from.
Yeah. I would say, I mean, funnily enough, because this story was filmed in a longer format and a much shorter format. I'd say I enjoyed both experiences. I did really love how free it is to be interpreted, the shorter version. So that to me was particularly for this project, I just felt as though, and Doug and I talked about this a lot, just that it fits within this package
Yeah,
pretty neatly, and we got really lucky with that. And obviously, it really goes to show Doug's talent in writing and how he just kind of was really economical with his words and everything. But yeah, I enjoyed both experiences. This shorter version, especially because it's in Spanish, and because you can kind of glean a lot from such a short piece. This one was more near and dear to my heart, but I love both. I love both versions.
I hear you. Thank you so much for sharing that. I feel like it's a very interesting and beautiful thing that we come across at our day and age. The amount of short film that are now being produced and
Yeah,
to different experiences and
totally.
opportunities.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so fun to see how people are just creatives are choosing to make things that, you know, even if you have a shoestring budget, which we definitely did, um, you can still get together with really talented people, Doug and Austin, and create something that's meaningful and it's a beautiful story, to share. And that is really cool. Just the power of short films and then film festivals like yours that actually get to give it a platform and, you get to share these really powerful, meaningful stories in small, bite-sized bits.
Thank you so much. And yes, we as a festival very honored to have this opportunity to give a platform for short films because they
Yeah,
deliver powerful messages and they are meant to be seen and heard and lots of beauty can be born from um, having this short film
definitely.
many people. So
Yes, I
thank
totally agree.
thank you. And thank you so much for submitting your film to our platform as well. It's truly a pleasure to have you with us.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Seriously, we are so, so happy just to be selected and get to have the experience of joining the film festival. It was awesome.
Thank you. You mentioned that you had a longer cut as well. Is your film a proof of concept?
Um, it could be, but right now. We actually, I don't think we have the final cut of the longer film, but I want to check in with Doug. I think we're gonna connect next week to kind of go over some celebrations and updates on the film festivals. But yeah, right now it's still a short film, but I think it's sitting around 20 minutes. So it's definitely a lot longer than this version of it. But who knows? Down the line, I mean, I would really, really be interested in expanding it into a feature-length film, if possible. And I do think that it's a really special story and it's very relevant to today. So
For sure.
yeah,
Well, I want to say congratulations on all of the awards and
thank you so much.
you have received for this film. It's truly beautiful to witness that.
Thank you. We're so, so grateful. I had no expectations going into this at all. I thought these are the first couple of, films and projects that I got to create with Doug. And I think, again, Doug did such a great job of writing these stories that are to me at least, very meaningful and touch upon some important topics. And we've been so, so grateful and honored that, people are recognizing them and enjoying them. And yeah, it's been a really special experience. So thank you.
Thank you as well. And yeah, I would like to just spend this kind of time also celebrating you for
Oh,
doing an amazing work and putting it out there into the world. It's really, I think we crave that as the world. And for you as an actor, it's also important to really celebrate. all the hard work. So I would love to celebrate you in this moment for
Oh,
the
it's
incredible work that you put behind it that we might not know about or see necessarily right away.
that is truly so kind of you. And I always feel as though, oh my gosh, there's so much more to do. Or looking back on my work, I'm sure we all do this, but just think, I could have done this better. I could have changed this. But I think you're so right. Taking a moment to just appreciate, you know, we all got to put in a really good amount of work into the prep and pre-production and everything. And yeah, this was a really, really cool moment. And it's led to some really beautiful opportunities for me and I know for others involved in the project. So really grateful.
Well, Alexandra, it's been such a pleasure having you and talking to you. I think I would love to start wrapping up our conversation. I
Yeah,
wouldn't want to hold you way too long as well.
of course.
Um, I think I would want to ask you about your goals for the next project and as well as about your dream role. Is there something in mind that you would really want to do?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. You have fantastic questions, I just have to say. Um, I would say in terms of next projects, I know that we're still wrapping up the final cut on that longer cut of Tres Minutos. So I'm definitely looking forward to finalizing that project. I have a couple of projects more in the commercial world coming up as well that I'm really looking forward to. But I'm actually really looking forward to getting more into theater again because part of my background has been in musical theater and opera, and I'd love dream role would either be specifically for theater would be either Christine Daae in Phantom of the Opera or Maria from West Side Story. So just putting it out there into the universe that I would love, love, love the opportunity to be in those shows.
I would love that for you. Oh boy, that would be so wonderful. I'm very excited for you.
Thank you so much. Fingers crossed. And the music in those shows, I grew up with it and I can't get enough of it. It's really just very special writing. So fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed as well.